Hi resellers and thrifters, this is Carrie, Be Carried Away. I'm a sometimes full-time, sometimes part-time reseller. This is going to be my third time going to the same thrift store that was new to me a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to take you along on a thrift with me to go inside and see if it's worth it to keep going back to the same thrift store over and over again. So let's go see what I can find to flip for a profit. So I'm definitely getting to know this store a little bit better because I found the back door. So the back door takes me in through this area straight through into the hard goods area. So I do pick up a cart and I'm starting to head over to the prints, but I do pass through the jewelry first. I really don't know a lot about jewelry. So if I do look at jewelry, it's usually, costume jewelry or something for myself. I had a glitch with my video during this time I was looking at the prints, but up in the right hand corner you see the print with the fish. I do end up picking that up. It turns out to be a great item. It's definitely the most exciting part of the haul that I'll be showing you, and this would have been the most exciting part of the haul. However, I didn't comp it in the store. This was American Limoges, and this covered vegetable dish would have gone for a lot of money. It was $8.99, and I was just overwhelmed with the amount of items in the store, and I didn't take the time out to comp it. So if it's there when I go back through, I will definitely be picking that up. Here I'm looking for this teapot that I had shown in my previous video, and a viewer had suggested I could look at this under redware or list under redware. So I thought I was going to be picking it up, but when I looked at it more closely, it just had some kind of staining or leaching there on the sides, and I decided it just wasn't in good enough condition. So I did put that back. I'm just looking at everything here really, and boy do I wish I'd looked at that. Look at all that American Limoges over there. Maybe it'll be there when I go back, but we'll see. I did end up comping this one over here. There's a vegetable dish coming up that I do take a look at, and that one they wanted $6.99 for. This one right here. This was Homer Laughlin Eggshell Nautilus, and the pattern turned out to be called Dewberry or Dewberry. I did look at it. It just didn't have the resale value for the price. There was one vegetable covered dish listed for $29.95, but it hadn't sold yet, and there were no sold. So I did leave that behind. I do look at these pretty plates. They are decorative plates. I don't generally pick up decorative plates, but I was drawn to those. I thought that vibrant color was really quite pretty. See, as you can see, my cart is just loaded with stuff. So I do take a look down here at these plates that had been there in the previous weeks, and these were hand-painted birds. They were half price this day, so I decided to pick them up this time. And if you look on the left, see over there real quick, I caught in the video a fourth canister. I had looked at a set of 3 canisters and it was missing one, and I didn't see until this recording that it was actually there. These are amazing, this set of glasses. There was a huge set. I don't even know the number. Every piece was there, but they didn't have a price for the entire set. And when I started to look at the way they'd priced the glass, it really was going to add up to a lot of money, and I just left it behind. This is the Libby gold leaf pattern with the frosted glass. Very popular vintage, but the decanter just really didn't go for all that much, and they wanted too much to make it worth picking up. Look at some of the larger pieces. Generally, if you're looking at china or dishes, the larger pieces like platters and covered dishes and soup tureens, things like that, will go for quite a bit and are worth taking a look at. Next, my eye is drawn to these really pretty gold and white and black tennis themed cocktail glasses. I do end up picking them up. There were 99 cents each, and so I'm here trying to load them into my really full cart with all that fragile glass and pottery and all of that. So I head around the corner. It's a lot busier this time, but I see this really pretty dot and daisy that is very familiar to me because my mom has this. And this does go, this does sell. It's very popular, vintage, but unfortunately they wanted too much for each piece and it would have added up to too much for resale purposes. So as much as I love Marcrest dot and daisy, I did leave that behind. And then finally I come over here to, here are these canisters. They're all on different shelves all over the place. So there's 3 here, and at the time I thought there were only 3, and 3 went for $43.99, but they wanted $8.99 for this large one, and I didn't even look at the price of the others. Some people have this set listed about 90 bucks. Hi guys, so here I am back at home. This is my haul that I thrifted on the road in the thrift store in the Poconos. So as soon as I start talking to myself and the camera, my dog starts whining. It's really crazy. I don't think he knows what's going on. Maybe he thinks someone's here and it's not just the 2 of us, but you lay down, Becker. I'm gonna leave that in, I think. Anyway, so I have a hard goods haul. So normally I do clothing hauls, but I walked into that store. It was jam-packed again. I was blown away by the amount of stuff there. I was always curious about what the turnover rate was at that store, and now I know it's really good. They were putting out new stuff regularly. I did see some stuff still sitting there from 3 weeks ago that I had, you know, seen in the past, but for the most part, all of this stuff was newly out. So I'm going to start with a set of 6 really nice beer glasses with gold edging. These are called thumbprint or bubble, and I've also seen them called, I looked these up, I did a lot of research, so I do have my notebook here, and basically I do my notes just on a notebook. I find it's easier. I do a lot of traveling, and for me, just going low tech seems to work the best. I can take it with me anywhere. I don't need Wi-Fi, I don't need electricity or power, so I just use this really old-fashioned way of looking at it. So this one, Pure Brawl, excuse my German. Oh, dimple or bubble. So that's another term that I'll put in. So I did look these up, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them because I have 6, all different beer brands, and some of the singles were going for, this Pure Brawl was going for like $32.99 by itself. And sets altogether, the highest price set I could find was $39.99 for a set of 6. Now, so I'm going to think about how exactly I'm going to list these. Am I going to group them together as a set of 6 or not? Some of them are more well-known beer brands. There's Mix. Oh, these are sturdy. There's a Lowenbrow, and then there's some more really cool, you know, lesser known German brands as well. I got these for $6 for 6, so they were $1 each. So this is, I think, what's known as Rockingham Pottery, and there's a lot of information out there. I'm going to include some of that in the listing as well. I do write descriptive listings. I enjoy doing that. The research part of it is what I enjoy the most. I know a lot of people like to just pump those listings out. They don't put much in there. They probably sell a lot more than I do, but I do enjoy that part. So, you know, if you enjoy it, do it. If you don't, you know, you can sell things without elaborate listings. But Rockingham Teapot Pottery, these are going for about $55 to $65. I'll probably go on the low end of it because there is a small imperfection on the back side here, but otherwise it's in really great condition. But look how old. Look at the crazy on the bottom of that. So based on its age, I knew it was worth taking a look at. Okay, jumping forward about 100 years maybe. These coconuts, carved coconuts, people collect these, and this was a bit of a miss. I picked up 2 of these initially. My cart was loaded, as you saw, and I picked up 2. I put 1 back, thankfully. It didn't have much unique about it. This one had Hawaii on it, and I'm always up for vintage Hawaiiana, and so I picked it up. But this particular guy, there are a bunch of them out there, and he's maybe going for $14 or $15. So I paid, oh, I took his sticker off. I didn't pay much for him. I think he was a half price. He was a green ticket. So I think he was marked maybe $4.99, so I paid $2.50. So I'll make my money back and a little bit of profit. And I learned something about how to look these up in terms of, you know, being really specific, looking for the unusual ones that collectors are going for. Next is a acrylic, really cool maple leaf napkin holder. I picked this up because it was inexpensive. It was $2. It was marked $3.99 and it was half price. So for $2, these go for about $15, $14.99, $16.99, something like that. And this one was marked. It does say that it's from Canada, Missy Crafts Limited. So these were usually handmade, poured by small companies, and it would really go great in a mid-century modern or retro kitchen. So there's that. Okay, next. This unusual looking statue figurine is by this company called Jart. And this is a Mexican art form, a Mexican sculptured resin. I've seen this listed as bone, like carved bone, but it's not. It's resin and you can really feel it. See how it looks sort of dirty? It's not. That's part of the artistic value of it. It's meant to look like that. And so it's a real specific type of figurine. There are lots of them out there. Now there's one listed on eBay for in the 40s, $49.50 maybe. It's been sitting there for a while, it looks like, and so I'm gonna price this one a little bit lower. So I'm not sure what the market is for Jart. There are some that have sold for quite a bit of money. I'm not sure maybe if it's 60s, 70s, but I'm gonna do a little bit more research on this and see where I go with pricing. But I definitely will go lower than the one that's listed on there right now. Okay, where do we go next? This is a miss. So I know that vintage perfumes are valuable because people get to love a certain perfume and then it's discontinued, and so the only place you can find it is on eBay. So this was a fragrant candle, still in the box, so it's a candle, but it says on the box, it says fragrant candle here, and then up here it says La Chandelle Parfumée. So my French not being what it used to be, this simply means it's not a brand of perfume, which is what I was thinking that it was, but it simply says the same thing in English. So it's fragrant candle in French. So this was $2.99 and I paid half price, so this was only $1.50. So someone might buy this just for the swan itself. It is ceramic. It's not really all that vintage. It does have a barcode on the back. So that was a bit of a miss. I wouldn't pick that up again. Okay. Another little bit of a miss, and I might put this, I'm gonna do a mistakes video, you know, my biggest mistakes. I don't think this is one of the biggest because it will definitely sell. But this is a really sweet little kitty cat figurine, and it is marked. It has the mark on the bottom, which is New Orleans, made in Japan. So that's all really great. And it's got this sugar coating on it. So this little glaze is called sugar coating or sugar glazed. You've probably seen are familiar with the spaghetti glaze, the ones with the more stringy porcelain or ceramic. And it does have this cute bonnet. Unfortunately, there's a big chip on the back. Now, I would have probably noticed this. I'm pretty careful with looking items over, but it was in the case at the register. So there was a line behind me, and the mistake was not taking my time. I just grabbed it and I paid up for it. I paid $9.99 for it. So I did look this up. I didn't find this exact, and people do like to collect and have different ones. So I still will sell this. I'll make my money back and a little more. I'm probably gonna price it in the $25 to $30 range. And next I have this really cool vintage pottery vase, and it's pretty good size, pretty decent weight. This is a peachy color with this green and white, and it definitely speaks mid-century modern to me, 50s, 60s. And it is marked. It just has one little mark on the bottom. very slight, and it says USA 16. Not much to go on. There's nothing on the bottom other than the price sticker. I paid $5.99 for this. But putting this into, believe it or not, Google image search, this popped up. So another an antique dealer, an online antique dealer, has one of these. It's only listed for $20 or $25, but they did say that it was Sequoia Pottery, California pottery glaze. So I'm not sure because it's not marked, but they are a very reputable online dealer. They've been selling for, they say, 25 since 1995. And I'm just going to read you what they said about this. It's a similar one. It's not the exact same. California art pottery with swirled glaze. And of course, I just knocked myself out of my page that I was reading to you from. Marked USA on the base. 16, USA 16. So when I looked this up, also I Googled it and I was able to find it just with those simple words. USA 16 pottery vase. Boom, here comes one just like this. Next is a set of 3 really cool glasses. I wish there were 4, but you know, I still bought them. They were 99 cents each. So these have a really cool tennis pattern on them and gold. And they're highball glasses, cocktail glasses. So someone who's a tennis player, has a bar area, outdoor tennis area, I think these would be really pretty to have as to use for drinks and as decor as well. So they're not marked. I looked very carefully. Sometimes you have to just go super carefully around the edges. Sometimes these pieces of old 60s glassware are marked, you know, Georges Briard or some of those, but I don't see any marks on it anywhere. But for that price, that was a pickup for me. Okay, next, really great pickup. I love these. These are Burwood. So this is the vintage Burwood frames. That's that plastic resiny sort of material that was made to look like faux wood. So Burwood is a big one. Sirocco is a big one. This stuff is really highly collectible. And these have these prints inside. There are a set of 4 actually. So I'm holding up just 2, but there are actually 4. So I was really happy to get these. I paid $10 for the set of 4. And I think I have that one upside down. So I did research these. I did find an exact set of 3, but I couldn't find out how much they sold for. They sold over on Etsy about 2 or 3 years ago. I'll put the video, the screenshot up there. Sorry, and I don't know. So sets of these of 2 generally go for like $25. So I'm probably going to list these at about $50. $49.99, something like that for the set of 4. So this is from the craze in the 70s of doing ceramics and painting, but it's an actual Disney product. I did find sets of these. Unfortunately, I only have one. I paid $5.99 for her. Snow White and the animals, no dwarves in there. But the sets of 2 were going for like $50. So I'll probably list her at just under $30, maybe $28 or $29.99. And maybe take off. This is a clay, terracotta, red clay, bunt cake pan, and it's wired. So it's got the wiring all around it on the bottom. And it does have some paint display. So this certainly looks handmade. It looks like it was pressed in. And it is signed. Oh yeah, it definitely was handmade because it's signed. So it says LV on the bottom. So nothing that I was able to find. I saw, you know, these go wildly all over the place, different prices, but this one I think is really special. So I'm going to price this on the high end, even though it does have a small chip here. And I looked up whether or not, you know, sometimes chips, like if you put something in the microwave and it gets chipped, it can make it get really hot. So I was worried about whether this would be even usable with the chip, but from what I researched, it would be. There are lots of ways to repair even red clay. One of them was to boil them in milk. So even when they have cracks, full-on cracks, you submerge it in boiling milk, and some of the substances in the milk actually fill in the clay and will seal the cracks and make them usable again. So I'm gonna see what I can do with a chip that's different than a crack, but I might try some, you know, adventurous milk boiling. We'll see, but I'll just definitely disclose it in the listing. And I'm gonna go high with this. I'm gonna list this over 50. So I'm not sure the exact number yet, but Some just basic ones we're going for $49.99, and I think this one is a little bit more special with the decorated bottom with the wiring and the fact that it's signed. Next is a cute little vintage pair. These are a pair, but I'm going to sell them individually. I think these were probably bought as a pair. This one's actually taped shut. They taped stuff at this thrift store to keep the, it's totally understandable. I just always worry about when the tape comes off, what it's going to do, but the wood is fine. So I paid very little for these. These were $2.99 each, and they're very sweet wooden carved souvenirs. So I love tourist souvenirs. People like to collect stuff like this for their homes. This has that really great rustic cabin, Adirondack camp, cottage, lake house vibe to it. So it's just the top, and the souvenir is actually from, so it's marked in really, really tiny letters here, but Ricketts Glen State Park, and that's in Pennsylvania, which is where I was shopping. I don't even know if that'll come in. But for that price, I think I won't get much for them, but I'll sell them probably $14, $16, something like that. And someone who loves Ricketts Glen will be interested. Next, I have a pair of Burwood again. These I got very inexpensively. These were in the half price color. And so I got these for just $1.50 for the pair. So they're not going to go for a huge amount, but they do sell. There are multiple sets of them. There's a lot of them listed, so a little bit more than I probably would like. Maybe if I had had time to do a little bit more research, I might not have got them, but they'll definitely sell if I price them right. Next, I have this really cool, totally unmarked. Sometimes I do that, you know, a piece of wood. This is really solid. It's heavy, nice wood. I gotta find out what kind of wood that is, but I paid $4.99 for this. I paid up because I think people, not up, but it's, you know, it's a good price for something like this that's just not marked. I did Google image search this, and one came up. The only problem with the one that came up is it's all in a Cyrillic alphabet, so I think maybe Russian, and I wasn't able to really decipher much at all yet. So I'm gonna keep going on seeing what I can find out, but I'm just gonna sell it as a piece of decor art. Somebody who loves owls, I thought it was really cool, the black and the cream. It's kind of like a painted front on the side, and really heavy and in really great condition. So I'm not sure what I'm going to price this quite yet, but probably in the low 20s, not quite 25 maybe. Next, another set of prints. I love wall art. The house that I live in was twice flooded. So we live by a river, and we have a love-hate relationship with the river. We love the river. We do a lot of swimming in the river. We do a lot of rowboating in the river. We'll take float trips. We take the dog and we go, you know, a couple miles up, drop off the tubes, and we'll float down to the house. It's really fun, a lot of fun. But, you know, it did flood the house twice. I wasn't living in the house at the time. It was my grandfather's house. So one of the things that I've always loved wall art, but wall art is even more important to me now, because wall art, you know, will stay. So if the river decides that it's going to come and take our things again, you know, we're prepared for that just in case. Everything I have is thrifted. I love all of my stuff, but, you know, if it happens, it happens, because we do love our river. We choose to live here. But I love wall art because, you know, it can't necessarily flood away. So I definitely seek it out. So I have this beautiful vintage set of prints of birds, and there is a name on them, R.T. Peterson. Unfortunately, one of them cracked on the drive home, so it's just a piece of glass to be easily replaced. I got these were half price, so I got these for $1 each, so for $3 for that set. Probably gonna ask in the neighborhood of $30 or so for those, and probably just take the glass out and sell them as is, like that. More wall art, really pretty crewel embroidery, and this is vintage. It doesn't have a date, nobody's got it signed, but it does have an Oakdale Art, the gallery. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll look up the gallery and I'll see if the gallery is still in business, and if so, when did it go out of business, and that'll give me some clues as to date. But this is really pretty, and it's really well done. Their prices vary radically on this kind of art. I'll probably list this for maybe high 30s, maybe 40s to start, and then come down from there. And I took the sticker off, and I don't remember exactly what I paid, but it was in the $4.99, maybe $5.99 range. So really pretty cool artwork. That kind of stuff is popular. People love to collect it, and it's sort of back in style again. Another piece of artwork and another owl. This probably is from Courtney at Bolo Buddies, who I've been watching her videos, and she's got her little owl, and I just, you know, whatever attracts your eye, right? But this is so sweet. I thought it was a really cute little plate. I don't pick up collector's plates very much. This one was $1, and so that's why I picked it up. Akin to garage sale prices, really, although it probably would have been $1. But it does have some markings and information on the back that'll help me to sell it. Sur la table, made in Italy, dishwasher safe and microwave safe, so it's not really that vintage. But I just thought it was a really cute kind of collector's piece that somebody will pay more than $1 for. So I'll definitely make a profit on that. And because I don't pick up collector's plates, here's 2 more collector's plates. I really don't. So these were $2.99 half price. So I got this set of 2 for $2.99. And again, really pretty. So, you know, these are people love birds. They love paint. These are hand painted birds on really pretty plates. So I don't consider these like the collector's plates that are sold, you know, with particular, you know, Gone with the Wind sets, or you know, old actresses sets and things like that. Those that are made specifically just for collecting. These have a little bit more of a broad appeal as just artwork. So they're signed M. Asana, and I do have foil stickers on the back. That's the other reason that I picked them up. And these are New Orleans, Japan. So for $2.99 for the set, I'll probably list these in the maybe $20 range. I'll make a little bit of a profit on them. Super cute. So I told you in the last video I was trying to get into plush a little bit. I'm really sliding into plush very slowly with little things and inexpensive things. So this was 99 cents, but he still has his tags. He has his tush tag on the bottom, which I've learned is a term. And he's from Harrods department store in London, and he's the little doorman. So there are a bunch of these listed, and they're going for about, you know, $12.99, $15.99. I think there's a couple listed for $18 and up in that range. So I thought he was kind of cute. So I did look up the artist, and the artist on the print is Joe Allen Hong, and Berry Hill Creek is, I think, maybe the printer over here. And then underneath it does have the date. It says that it was made in San Francisco, and it's really, really tiny down here. Dasher Editions, San Francisco, 1986. So vintage. So I did look up the artist. $6.99 buy-in for me is a definite something I've got to look up. So I wouldn't buy something for $7 without comping it. And I did comp this. I didn't find a lot. I found one print for sale by this artist on eBay. Joe Allen Hong was an American clothing designer based in San Francisco, but he was trained in art and did obviously artwork as well. And he was most well known in his artwork for doing prints for the San Francisco Zoo. He lived in San Francisco and he loved the city, and he did work for them. So I'm not sure if this is something that he did for the San Francisco Zoo. I don't know if they had a tropical exhibit. I'm going to research that a little bit more. He did pass away in 2005, I believe. And so this was done in 86, I said, right? So the one that's listed on eBay is listed for $149. So I'm going to go a little bit higher than that. That one is a picture of the actual zoo and the zoo animals. And I think this just has a broader appeal because of the fish theme. There are a lot of people who are not interested in a photo of a zoo for a variety of reasons. Maybe they're not from San Francisco. It's specific to the San Francisco Zoo. There are people who are opposed to zoos. It's a really kind of colorful picture, and I think this one just, especially with this really cool length and dimensions of the print, I think this one is going to go for more, or could be listed for more. There were no solds, So this is probably going to be a long tail item that might sit for a while. And if it does, I'm okay with that at the $7 buy-in. But it was something that I would comp. And I do have, actually I do have another little teeny tiny adorable item. And these are a really small pair of kids vintage, not vintage, vintage style sunglasses. Brand new. They still have the little tag on them in a tiger, zebra stripe, animal pattern, animal print pattern with a cat's eyes. And they initially were marked for $9.99, but they were in a little basket for 50 cents. So I picked them up. These, the brand is J.R. Allen, A.J. Moore. I'm still on the print. A.J. Moore. And I did look up these sunglasses and they go, it's just a random. Some are going $8.99, some were listed for $60. So because these are kids, people aren't going to pay super high for kids sunglasses that, you know, might end up in the crunched under the back seat somewhere. So I think I'm probably going to do about 15 or 16, maybe a little low 20s for these because they are super cool. So the last item isn't something I bought at this thrift store. It's something that I bought at my own thrift store here where I live. But I wanted to talk about vintage Pyrex because the Pyrex at this thrift store in the Poconos that I was at, they had a lot of great stuff. It was unbelievably marked up. I couldn't believe it. I mean, they had the large size mixing bowl for $28.99, just the one bowl. So I wanted to show this bowl that it's very dusty, but I got this for $2.99, and this is a really cool, you know, vintage refrigerator dish. So that's something really to be aware of, is that when you're traveling, you have to know that stopping at a new thrift store, the prices could be radically different, even though it's a Salvation Army, even though it's outside of a small size city, even though it's semi-rural, the prices could be very, very different. So make sure you're not just, you know, putting things in your cart, and make sure you're comping so that you don't lose out. So thank you guys so much for watching my thrift haul. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I do all this research anyway, so it's fun to be able to talk about it. And I hope that you guys have good luck thrifting. Thanks.